Alright, we have 3K 4v4. We're on pillars. I'm not hosting this one. I'm just dipping in and out of games today, willy-nilly, when I've got time to grab some footage. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. I think dropping down with the Pillars crew, gonna be able to get some people in that I haven't seen much before. Although I say that, and I've seen Tixie and Biff and Goldstein. Yeah, I think that's it actually. So pretty good. All right, Biff's in here. Oh boy, the container. Oh yes, oh yes, the container. I do enjoy containers very much. And he's got a lot of different kinds of containers, which is exciting. We have clockwise with a broadsider plus some container support. Bringing decoys, presumably? Yeah, nice. We'll always play some fun little mind games with that. 450s. We have an Ocello with also with gun 450s. Pair of presumably gun Ocellos out of Gold State. Man, been seeing so many Ocellos lately. I like it. Christ's sake. Oh, this looks kind of like my rocket spam build. Oh, no. Okay. Never mind. This is like a real Ocello instead of a meme Ocello. I have a E-War Ocello. So he's got this is probably the main thrust, and these are his supports instead of using farming the support out to the Ocello. Yeah. T20s. Jammers, so many jammers. Jammers, T20s, support. No rockets. Just Bellbirds, T20s, and guns. Okay. I got over here Skinwalker bringing the ultimate Yub Nub. Oh, man. Look at all of that. I really hope those Gorgons are for killing things and not AMMs, because I love watching size 1s kill things. You don't see it much. But it happens. Lobster with a little frig blob. Looks like some... Oh man, also you have Nubbin with hybrids on sprinters. A little bit of PD, a lot of Pinards and blankets, and then AMMs presumably. Active decoys. Cosmius. Bring the old gun BB loaded up with Sarissas. And a little PD scout. Been some firefight happening already, but nothing too major going on. Just some scouting containers going to Delta, but Spy's gonna be unharmed from that. And we have quad beams with guns on them and not enough point defense. Not enough point defense at all. Containers after these guys would destroy them. And some jammers. Yeah, that is not enough point defense. You have not paid your taxes, my friend. I think this is a very menacing fleet and could absolutely cut apart this team right here. And, well, I mean, with the beams, it could also perform pretty well against the Ocellos. Mark 62 is obviously not going to be doing that much against Ocellos. But they could be very effective against the Bulker. Where are you? Oh, there's this side of the map. Okay, so that's probably not going to come up. Alpha's been mined off. Crysex sending a little escadron out there to cap it. Capping Charlie. Anus faster on the cast, but OSP about to be ahead on caps. So it shouldn't be too terribly much of a point lead right off the bat for the OSP. So, what are these doing? They're out of here. EWR sees them. And, oh yeah. In fact, EWR sees a lot of things. I think they're falling off, though. Yeah, they just fell off. These might be able to snoop around. Alright, here's what we were talking about. We, of course, being me and my 75 personalities I have stuffed inside of my skull. As I guess that's just the price of being an astral horror. Couple of sniffs, maybe? I don't know. These might just be getting spread out like a lot. RPF coming in, but well, this might be a long enough of a time. Yeah, these 4 are not going to be enough over here, and these are just going to miss. The sprinters, they've already gotten out of the way. He's going to get chewed down by the RPF fire. Yep. See, if all 10 of these had gone after this team, they'd be in big trouble. In fact, I'd probably be laughing right now for predicting the failure of PD techs getting them killed. Hopefully he noticed that these guys didn't have any Sarissas and could be destroyed. And have a couple defenders, but that's just not enough. Especially since I think these defenders are on opposite sides. Yeah. Yeah, one on the tail and one on the underbite. Hurricane's coming out of more scouts. I'm so happy they fixed the cylinder. Uruwaza DCing very quickly. That guy DC'd in the last game, which caused this lobby to get rehosted. Wow, this thing completely annihilated from guns and missiles. Looks like this is about to be followed up. Yeah, this someone else who just didn't pay their PD techs. Able to get 2 missiles off, but it looks like they're going wild. And yeah, I might have to give the OSP this one already, because a lot of ships on the ANS team not bringing the PD. Freaking typical, man. I just played a game where I was playing a container ship, and I'd been seeing this a lot. ANS players not bringing enough point defense. So I was like, oh, I'll break out the container ship and abuse this current weird hiccup in the meta. And it just so happened I played against a whole bunch of people with Sarissas, and I couldn't do anything. And the one time I did get a good play off, I ran a bunch of containers into an already dead ship. I was completely useless. It's very sad. I think Lobster's other team is gonna get punished here before too long, because if this EWR just rotates up just a little bit, it'll be able to see him. In fact, they are being seen. I don't know by what. Might be just the basic radar on one of these ships. Oh, this thing is getting hung up. Maybe. I can't tell if it's in the hang-up cone or not. Hang-ups pin rocks, by the way. Radar and jammers. Radar jammers usually don't. SEMA taking up station at the spot. This little horn right here, you can really play around. In a BB, in a gun BB. Yeah, you really... I don't think he realizes that these have missiles on them. I think he's just thinking these are off-angle scouts. Buddy, you need to deal with these, like, right now. You programming more? No. Or yes? Huh. Interesting. It doesn't show when missiles are programming. Oh, yes it does. Just wasn't showing it at that moment. Okay. That's interesting positioning. Yeah, if these hybrids go after... Oh, they're going after this. Which might be fun. No, one Pavisis thing's dead. Valuable lesson. Oh, nice. Pulling around the backside. A little too ambitious with these, unfortunately. And he's going high, but they went low. Which means all of these are probably going to miss. No? I guess he spread them out. Okay. Unfortunately, that means he's not going to have enough volume to get through these PD nets. Yeah, those are also going to go up too high. Colossal waste. Yeah, that's 7 missiles. It's not a full volley of 10. So I don't think those are going to be getting through either. And not even close. Real unfortunate. And now Biff's got this to deal with. He's also dumped about 2/3, or 1/3. He has 2/3 remaining of his missiles. This Voxel sneaking, well, maybe not sneaking is the best term, but making it over here. He's fired out some missiles, hasn't really done that much with them, but has gotten shot on his way over. Sprinter's continuing to be annihilated. Speaking of annihilated. Wow, that didn't do as much as I was expecting. Oh. Okay, well this thing's just dead. Especially if he has 0 restores. Reactor's down, the drive's down, and CIC is now down. Really should have been firing at these way earlier than that. Like way, way earlier than that. He's busy setting up his super cool gotcha on these, and if that would have worked out, it would have been super cool, but a little bit of misjudgment on the looping around containers, unfortunately. It was a good idea, but poorly executed. OSP up on caps, up on points, but the loss of that container ship is a big problem, especially since these guys didn't bring any PD, and the Sprinter Blob did not bring any PD either. No. The destroyers did bring PD, just not enough. I think Lobster overused his hybrids on this container ship. So I'm going to be able to get a few target here, especially since the others got blown up in the process. And he's only got 1 direct fire missile left. Or damaging missile is probably the better way to phrase that. This is getting too close. This is too ambitious. This thing's gonna pop over here and be like, haha, surprise, I have missiles to put inside your face, and he's gonna get gunned down immediately. It's way too ambitious. You do not want to be in your opponent's face with missiles. The main advantage of missiles is that you can fire without anything being able to fire back at you. But obviously getting in close, like this, kind of abrogates that. Well, it does mean you can track fire things, which is convenient, but no, these aren't getting through that flak. A lot of people brought missiles this time around, and everyone was kind of messy with their use, which is understandable, because missiles are really hard to use properly. I think they're the hardest thing to use well in the game, especially since you can configure them so much. Why is this guy here? Why are you here? Why are you just sitting here? Get in the fight. I know you've been shooting at these things, but you need to, like, go and have map presence. This definitely would have been worth if he could have saved the container ship, but he didn't. I've just been really negative the past few casts. This poor guy. I don't know if Skinwalker's gonna get any damage on the board. I think he might have landed a hybrid earlier against one of these ships. But if so, the damage has been pretty much repaired. Simus, on the other hand, pushing forward, fighting, shooting, dealing damage, taking damage. Just kind of living his best battleship life. Cap to Alpha. Can loop these over to Cap Echo since there's no OSP presence on that side of the map. And Anus can take an easy victory. Beam ships ever pushing forward. Where I'd put the meme song pushing gay words if I knew how to do any video editing. Where are these going? Wow. So that's the problem with putting closing maneuvers on sprinters. Instead of before, the sprint stage kind of is the closing maneuver. So if you put Weaver Corkscrew on them, especially now that they fixed the cold gas bottle exploit, and they'll wind up outmaneuvering themselves and missing the target, especially on small targets like Ocellos. Yep. See, all those would have hit if he didn't have the stuff. Oh, just like that. And the speed is what gives sprinters their point defense dodging capacity, so you don't need the extra maneuvering. So Dixie, you're gonna be able to get on the board. But not as much as he could have been. I think that's 2 volleys that have missed. Due to maneuvering. A lot are going into the rock as well due to maneuvering and track firing. Don't track fire your missiles, kids. These Ocellos just pushing them and firing, which I don't think is a good idea here. Because these are eating an incredible amount of damage. They do not have the point defense to counter this, especially after taking a few volleys. Their PD are down. Takes you able to dump out payloads and missiles a whole lot faster than these Ocellos can dump out bullets. Not really anything else going on the rest of the map. This team has captured Echo. Or, well, I say not really anything going on. So the destroyers are just going to get destroyed? I'm not really sure what happened over here. I guess they're just getting shot at by everything. Has this player left? Oh, right, yeah. Waza did leave, and Dixie was microing these, but I guess he's busy trying to stay alive over there. So hasn't been microing these. These all just get gunned down without getting into range and fighting. Well, I think it was going to be an ANS victory because of what Cosimus has been doing with the points and the map presence. And keeping the OSP just kind of locked in their spawn, which is usually an extremely bad thing. But they might just lose militarily. It's an abandoner means this one guy now has to deal with 2 fleets, one of which he was not prepared to deal with at all. I don't know if he abandoned or if he just has terrible internet. I think he's got terrible, yeah, he's got internet problems. He disconnected from the last match before it even got started and we had to re-host. Don't play multiplayer games if your internet can't handle multiplayer games. Like, it ruins everyone else's experience. I'm pretty sure it's out of missiles. Yeah, I mean, he's still got his Gorgons, but with how he's been using them, I'm guessing that those are AMMs. And not for combat. So he could start microing this fleet? Or this one single ship over here that is still alive? I don't think that's gonna happen. This match was a mess. Complete mess. These ships, the entire OSP team can now fight this battleship. But it looks like they're more worried about the dead beamers who haven't moved than they are about the battleship, which is punching holes in them, or the rail ship, which is also punching holes in them. What does this belong to? Lobster. Yeah, I think Dixie's pretty much forgotten that he controls these ships. He just kind of abandoned them. Which is understandable. Busy managing the ship he actually cares about. Now, whenever I get someone else's ships, I'm usually pretty unhappy. I don't want to deal with that crap. That's not what I came into battle for. It's not what I'm prepared to do. Some of the OSP ships turning and fighting. The Solomon in the middle of the map. They definitely have a point advantage if everything over here decides to face off against this. It's going to be in big trouble. Obviously, the shuttles aren't going to be able to do that much since they're bringing T-20s and not rockets. And this team doesn't have any plasma. Oh, there's one of the beam ships. Missing, unfortunately. Shoot at the thing that shot at you. Don't shoot at the dead ships. Okay, a couple are switching. But yeah, the bulk of this fleet's just gonna keep ignoring the big battleship on middle. I guess it's fair enough that the shuttles can't really do anything about it, so they're gonna come down here, fight this, capture Echo, maybe loop around the backside and go for Delta. They're gonna need it. This guy just needs to get on Bravo. And then everything else needs to burn towards the middle of the map and try to kill this Solomon and get a military victory. Since I think trying to get a points victory at this point is going to be real close. Real close, because nothing's going to be able to get to Charlie before the game's ends. And, well, maybe. Man, this... Biff might not have the best computer for this. I feel like this game's been going on a whole lot longer than this. Well, he also might have put it on a 60-minute timer and not a 45-minute timer like I do. I didn't check the timer originally. And I haven't seen any time dilation thingies up here, so yeah, it's probably fine. Game just feels a lot slower when you're watching than when you're playing. And I played a couple matches, so I'm a little juiced up. A little adrenaled. The high-paced intensity of Nebulous Fleet Command. This thing's dead. This thing has no munitions, but it can just sort of float around over here and be a jerk. Man, these Ocellos are still alive somehow. This one in particular is fighting fit. I don't know how. Yeah, I think the build here is good. You really need to rework how you use it. Because all the direct firing is not it. So many missiles ran into rocks. And also the weave on the sprinters is not it. Because same reason, so many missiles ran into rocks and missed their targets because they were weaving at extreme speeds. We've also cost points. You'll be able to get more out of your missiles if you spend those points somewhere else. And it's not many points, but it is still points. And a point saved is a point saved. I don't know. I don't have anything pithy for that. This is kind of the last thing on the map for the ANS forces. Obviously, we have the Voxel over here who's just flying around and threatening to Cat B. No restores. So lobster gonna be kind of screwed. De-encrypted as opposed to unencrypted, which is, you know, client side. Something like that. PD spy gonna get shot at by these T20s. Now that's something the T20s can influence. This is such a weird little match. I've played too many frickin' multiplayer games in my lifetime. All the slang is sort of slamming into each other. Use map to refer to things that might have multiple stages on them. Like a Team Fortress 2, and you have the team swap. You have one offense and one defensive match, and then they flip, and the offender are the defenders, and the defenders are the offenders. So there are two matches on one map. I yammer a lot in these casts. I hope people enjoy it, or at least don't find it too aggravating. That's just how I be, man. This ship is just not dying. I mean, it's taking a lot of damage, obviously, but it's still fighting. Even from several sources of 450 fire. He's done a really good job of using the cover on pillars as well. This is obviously a player who plays almost exclusively pillars. He knows this map inside and out. I mean, all of us do at this point, but there's a difference between knowing the map and knowing how to use the map. And this fool knows how to use the map. Cosmius. This poor Bulker. Yeah, getting into a fist fight with Solomon is not what you want to do in one of these. You want to, like, hang back, fight him, and then pull support in. You really want the Ocellos to be taking the hits, not the Bulkers. Because the Bulkers have more firepower, but a whole lot less survivability than Ocellos. And like I was saying earlier, even though the OSP team is going to be able to cap almost all the points, they're not going to be able to get to Charlie before the game ends. 918 points. Well, I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't think so, though. These shuttles are fast, but they ain't that fast. Okay, one over here staying to contest Bravo. So it's all about whether or not they can kill this Solomon fast enough before the game ends. I'm wrong. These shuttles are going to be able to get there just at the edge. Of course, whether or not they can cap it before the tick over, I don't know. Because I've seen... This will be... If I upload this, this will be the second game I've put up where the OSP team loses while having all caps. Because the ANS won at the very single last tick of owning one of the points. And it's not a lot of nickels, but it's weird that it happened twice. Seriously, that's such a niche and specific end. I can't believe that it would have happened twice. Oh, if this guy captures Bravo, that's gonna be a big, big problem. It's so weird that these both are in the circle. But sometimes it can't decide who if it wants to let the ANS guy cap or if it wants to contest. Meanwhile, Solomon TV. You know, it's fitting that the Solomon is dominant on pillars because this is the Solomon sector in which pillars is located in after all. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to cap Charlie just in time. Which means this is going to be a very long, slow end. Probably going to have to do some more. Welcome to the AAR. You've probably been jerked here unceremoniously because I cut a bunch of crap out where we're just kind of sitting and shooting at battleships for no reason. So these ships belong to the Lever. They obviously didn't do anything. Skinwalker got them, but he didn't really do much with them. Did some work with his missile team, but could have done way, way more. A lot of these misses were due to weaving and track firing, causing things to go into rocks or miss targets, which is a problem. Lobster putting in some work with these missile frigates, corvettes. A lot of them getting taken out early before they can do anything. The two on the B side just didn't do anything. Cosmius, less damage than I was expecting, really. Yeah, Biff. Really biffed it on the missile front, unfortunately. Hopefully that was a valuable lesson for him. It just made some incorrect assumptions about enemy movement, and it caused his missiles to miss like mad. What the fuck is this? I see. Well, no, I mean, most of the damage came from the AP. Unreal damage out of this Bulker and a solo pairing. Gold Steve getting on the board, doing some damage. Grisek doing more than I was expecting with these T-20s. I guess chewing up the destroyers and the all the sprinters. Yeah, that was a weird one. Hope you enjoyed. There was a lot of yammering that one. And I know, oh no, it's a pillars match, but that's what most people play on. I will see you in the battle space at the end of the video. Oh, I'm supposed to plug my Discord. I have a Discord for hosting and casting games. Talk there when I want to set up something with viewers. And it's also a good way to get games that are a little more interesting, because when people know that they're being watched, tend to play a little better. You also don't have disconnects halfway through, which is nice. I have also wanted to do some non-Discord matches lately, so it's not just the same people over and over and over again with the same builds. But man, those games are usually a lot better than these games. So anyways, go there. I did some viewer matches on there recently. Those are my most recent uploads. A lot of yammering and talking in those, and I think that's a lot of fun. And some people have enjoyed that. Now that's the end of the battle. The video. The fight. I am all over the place. Good night. Good day. Goodbye.